Hello, this video explains the process for how a unit coordinator reviews a plagiarism incident. The first thing you'll need to do is locate the record in the ELA portal. Then, after reviewing the plagiarism matrix and the information provided by your ELA, you'll need to make a decision. This then needs to be communicated to the student. So it could be for a level 0 or a level 1 or 2. If it's a level 0, you need to finalise the record. If it's a level 1 or 2 incident, it then needs to be submitted for approval to the authorised officer, who will make the ultimate decision, and they'll decide whether to approve the incident that's been raised, or they might even reject the decision. It's important to share with your students what it's like to be a novice academic writer and allow the students to develop their academic writing skills throughout the course of your unit. It's not a good idea to expect the very best in referencing and referencing formatting style in the first instance, but allow students to build on early success in their first assessment and rather than focus on early failure. This is the plagiarism matrix set by the university, which all ELAs and unit coordinators need to follow. There's a direct link to the Swinburne Wiki from the incidents page in the ELA portal, but this is just a screenshot of it. There's information about what constitutes poor academic practice at level 0, what constitutes unintentional or low-level plagiarism at level 1, and then intentional plagiarism at level 2. On the right-hand side, it gives some key features of each level and how it's managed. So all level 0 cases are managed by the unit coordinator, and all level 1 and 2 cases are managed by the authorised officer. The steps you need to take in reviewing a case: you'll be notified by email that there's a case waiting for you to review, so you'll need to go into the ELA portal and click on the Plagiarism Records tab. When you log in there, you'll need to go to the top part and click on the Go button. The cases that are listed in the history down here are ones that you've previously processed. So it's important to click on the Go button to find the latest incidents available to you to review. So you'll see in this case, this is the plagiarism record number, which is the record number that Gillian and I use to process authorised officer cases, and also to backtrack and find other cases of students' plagiarism records. So we can see that the student is Diane Roby. It's still under review. It's with the unit coordinator to review. A preliminary decision has been made by the ELA that it was a level 2. The ELA, the unit name, and the date of it. So what you need to do is click on the plagiarism record type, number, and you can see the information here that's provided. So here we've got the record case number, the student's name. The ELA has said that the preliminary decision is at level 2. So if you scroll down, you confirm that this is your unit. So this is the subject that it was in, the teaching period. It should give the assignment number and title here. We're fixing that process at the moment. It also has the percentage of plagiarism. The ELA has provided comments on what the student had done. And then they provided some further information about what sort of academic misconduct case it was. In this case, it's plagiarism. So the process that you need to take now is make a final decision and what the outcomes might be. So scrolling further down, you can see that this student has had a history of plagiarism. You can see in TP1 18 they had a level 0 where they were offered the opportunity to resubmit for full marks, and also in teaching period 1 they had a level 2 and they got 0 for the task. So there's something, questions raised here, that maybe the student's not taking on board the feedback they've been given by their ELAs on the from the last teaching period. So based on this information and reviewing the plagiarism matrix, and also you can go into the assessment and have a look at it, you make a final decision. So in this case, you'd go up and you'd make a decision on what it might be. Again, it would be a level 2. Given it's a level 2, you'll need to suggest an outcome that you think would be fair for the student and in the best interests of the student. So you would check what you think. And then what's really very important, you need to save that. And the next step is to email the student. Now you can see on the right hand side here, this is the email that's sent to the student as a warning. It's a pre-populated email where some text is imported from what you write here. So the best step to do is click on Email Student button, and this information from here comes up here. So you now need to write down what the student has done. So this is the process in editing this text box. So update what you need and what you don't need. So the originality report shows sections of text copied from another student's work. You can include many of the sentences are not written by yourself. We may not be able to mark all of your assignment. And you can also say that it's not the first time in your ELA in the previous unit in EDU. Line has offered detailed and specific feedback on assignments 1 and 2, in which there were very similar concerns. It's important to pay attention to the feedback. So that's all you need to do. You don't need to write the student's name. You don't need to write from the unit coordinator. So you click on Send, and that email will go directly to the student. So once you close that down and sent the email, you then need to submit this for approval to the authorised officer. You click on Submit for approval. You can't recall this once it's done, so yes, we're still going to record it. And this now shows that it's at the authorised officer review stage. You don't need to do anything else with it, and you can see a copy of the email here that you have edited out is in there, and it shows that it's been sent. So this is where Gillian and I have a record of this. We've got the final decision and what you suggest as an outcome for that particular unit. These are some examples of the emails that are sent to students at each stage. So for a level 0, they would get an email from you with a subject line of suspected academic misconduct. If it's a level 1 or 2 case, they would get a warning email from you with the subject line suspected plagiarism incident. And then once a final decision is made, the authorised officer will send an email, which is a letter from the authorised officer misconduct. This is the level 0 educative feedback. So you can see it's a templated email, and the key information is listed here to help students understand what they need to do. And in this case, they have 5 working days to resubmit, and they must resubmit to the extra submission point in the assignment section of the unit. Gives them some extra detail on the core elements of academic writing, and it provides some suggestions of how students can improve their academic writing for next time. It also provides some links to some support services for students. This is a sample of an email that you would send to a student, giving them a warning that it's now in the hands of the authorised officer. And you can see in the information around this part, it says what the originality report showed as per the information you inputted in the email, and that there's no action that the student needs to do at this stage because the authorised officer needs to take the next step. And again, it's the same information, so it's reinforcing the key information for the student. Once the authorised officer is notified that there's a case that they need to review, Gillian and myself will both be going through these, and we'll make a decision as to whether we'll approve your decision or we'll reject your decision. And in that process we'll suggest what the level should be and what an appropriate outcome would be. So these are two examples, an email that has been, the plagiarism record has been approved. This one is the plagiarism record has been rejected. So it explains that it's approved at level 1 and what the outcome should be, and also this one is rejected and a reason why the student, the case was rejected. So in this case, the student, it was a first TP, the first unit they've done, so giving them an opportunity to practice and improve their writing. This is a copy of the level 1-2 outcome email from the authorised officer. So you can see it's actually stated it's a notice of misconduct with sanctions, gives them links to the university policy, explains what actually the student had done, and then what the outcome will be. And again, it's the same support services available to students, and also their right to review and appeal that decision. There's a lot of support offered to the unit coordinator, so obviously you've got other unit coordinators you can talk to in your discipline area or in any of the ELA community. You have your own lead unit coordinator who is a great source of support and information and can help and advise you on cases. You also have Gillian, who's the Education Integrity Coordinator, myself, the Director of Learning and Authorised Officer. Both Gillian and I process all of the misconduct cases, and we're more than happy to be consulted when you need some advice on some of those tricky cases. It's best if you email us via the Director of Learning at swinburneonline.com, because we both have access to this shared email box and we can process and respond to your requests. Also available to you is information on the ELA portal, and then areas in the student portal that you can direct students to. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. All the best for the teaching period.